Sister Hawa, come over here and get the mic for me while I'm finishing my plate over here, my biryani.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, sister. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Assalamu alaikum, Hawa.
Just a Heron for giving us your time. Oh, right, yeah. She told me to speak louder for the people out there. So I guess what I wanted to talk about was you were talking about intercultural differences as far as communication styles go and getting to know each other and trusting each other. And I feel like there is a big difference as far as American culture and Arab culture in terms of how people like strike agreements and communicate. And sometimes it's very hard to get past those barriers. So like you'll have a conversation, or I'll have a conversation with my husband. I will literally think that we have agreed on something because, you know, he'll say, inshallah, inshallah. And then like to him, you know, like, inshallah, like, I feel like there's like, I hate to say this.
Inshallah means I'm not going to do it.
The Arab inshallah. And then there's the Islamic inshallah. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, so, and then he will just go and do like whatever he wants to do and then say sorry later. And he knows that, you know, he agreed, and we've had explicit conversations, sometimes hundreds of times over these same things. And I feel like my boundaries are not being respected. Like, I mean, sometimes they may seem insignificant or even small to other people. Like for me, I want to limit screen time, and I want my children to have like the iPad on occasion when it literally cannot be avoided. And my husband thinks the iPad or screen time is like something to babysit the kids with. It's convenience for him. So we are on opposite spectrums of this, and I feel like he just keeps breaking my trust. And I mean, you were talking about like how trust is important in communication, and then the other thing is like, you know, he is quieter, and sometimes if he doesn't say anything, it means he's not agreeing, or he's lying, or you know what I mean. And like I never can really get to the point where we can actually have a proficient conversation and he can see my point of view unless we literally like go to therapy within a man. You know, so like how can you get to the point where you can be able to, and I feel like also he blames me because I'm not Arab enough for him. I mean, honestly, like I know a lot of reverts. I've been Muslim for like over 10 years, and you know, but Arab women, some of them, they have very soft spoken, they have this beautiful way of speaking. They, you know, even when they are like talking about something they don't like, they do it in a way that's not so direct, you know. And so like for me, like it's almost like, oh well, you know what, I didn't have to do that because you were like being polite enough. In his mind, polite enough is like communicating the Arab way, like it's being held against me even though I'm not Arab. And so I don't know, I mean, I feel like it's hard to actually be able to communicate in a way that we can both have a successful conversation where we're being honest and genuine with each other, and he's not just like defaulting to like that passive aggressive control where he just does what he wants and doesn't listen. Was that a lie?
You've been married for 10 years?
Actually 9.
Yeah. You've been married for 10 years?
9 years. Almost 10.
Okay. Mashallah, mashallah, mabruk. Mabruk, mabruk. Mabruk.
How did you know?
How many children do you have? How many?
3, and
so tell me how many children do you have?
At 3, and I'm pregnant with my 4th. Say hi, Ma'am.
Allah, oh my gosh. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allah, but she is precious. She is, what's her name?
Miriam. Miriam.
Miriam, mashallah. Miriam, assalamu alaikum, Miriam. Oh, mashallah, mashallah. She is a gem. Mashallah.
Go play, go play.
Mashallah. Well, first of all, I want to say mabruk, mabruk. I'm alfa mabruk for, you know, this is wonderful. And I'll tell you what Arabs love most about a woman. You just keep giving them babies. this is the jewels of their life. This is the most thing that, the valuable thing that you're giving to an Arab man is babies. It makes them, you know, put you on top of their head. Okay, this is very important. You know, and you know, something else about the Arab man, you know, he's getting it a little easy with you. He knows that. He has a little easy with you. And, you know, an Arab woman is going to be a little tougher for him. You know, he's not going to get away with so much. She's going to, you know, it's the thing about the Arab man is this. They don't talk a lot, but just because they don't talk doesn't mean they're not communicating.
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah, okay. So their silence is still communicating.
Yes. But the thing is like, how many years do I have to be married before you start to make some concessions in my direction and respect my boundaries and my limits, right? Like, how can I get him to respect those?
Yeah. So listen, you're going to, there's something in the Middle East, you know, you have to, there's something called language of the eyes, which means he can look at you and he's communicating to you. He can be silent and he's communicating to you. He can just look at you and you should know what he wants just by him looking at you. I know that's a little intense, but I think I know you know what
I
saying,
do
right?
know what you mean. And trust me, I have it down. Okay.
Okay.
He wakes up. I know what he wants to eat for breakfast. I know when he wants his coffee. I know the thing he does with his eyebrows when he wants something sweet. He doesn't want the kids to know. I know. Okay, I know. And it's like,
So yeah, so remember this, that, okay, thank you. So what I want to say to you, thank you, Danielle, is very, very important is that, mashallah, the Arab man is all men in general, okay? All men in general, but specifically the Arab man, he's like a little boy, okay? And you just have to know how to make him feel, you know, cozy, give him his food at the right time, you know, make him comfortable, you know, that I think is the most how to say the stop sign with an Arab man is you don't want to ever yell at your husband. Don't ever scream or yell at him because this makes him feel so small. It makes him feel so inadequate. It makes him feel that he's not, you know, this man taking care of his family. So do the screaming, yelling at any man, whether they're Muslim or not, but specifically if they're Arab, you don't want to scream or yell at him. But, you know, if you talk soft, please, I need, you know, if you tell him, I do this kind of direct communication eye to eye, not sort of walking through the hallway. And by the way, don't forget to take the garbage out. Or because that's not communication. That's not authentic communication, right? Or I'm in the kitchen, you know, and I'm stirring the food at the table. Hey, you know, did you lock the doors? I mean, it's kind of like I'm talking at you, but I'm not talking to you. And
actually, that's the thing. I will say, like, Muhammad, and then I will want him to come to me because, like, I'm like at the stove or doing something with the kids, and then he won't come. And I get annoyed. I'm like, why isn't he coming here? You know?
Okay, I'll tell you why he wouldn't come. Okay, so sweetheart, the reason he didn't come is one, you screamed and said, Mohammed, you know, because you know, and you called from another location and you did, you know, and you're sort of like, you know, hey, you know, come here, you know, like it kind of doesn't feel respectful. You know what I mean? The Arab man has to always, and Ruba can speak to this, an Arab man always has to feel respected. Being respected is a big thing in the Arab culture. Knowing that they, you know, not to scream at them, not to yell at them or to yell to them or come here or do this. They kind of have this, I don't know, there's a kind of a feeling of, what is it in Arabic, Aruba, what this feeling of inside, they want to feel noble, or they want to feel like like they want to feel
Yes.
good about themselves, you know?
Yeah, and I understand that. And I've been working with, like, you know, sitting with him, making sure the kids aren't around, having a good conversation, you know, like where it's just him and I. And then we are having, like, just being able to focus on each other. Like, I have been working on that. And usually, like, I won't just like address some issue like in the kitchen, though day to day, you know, so I do feel like sometimes I do yell through the house, but that's because I grew up in a large family and it's like, but I mean, when it comes to like, if I'm upset about something or I want to have an important conversation, I do make the effort to have that conversation. But then I feel like the things that he agrees to, you know, sometimes he's not really agreeing. Do you understand what
He
I'm saying?
he doesn't fulfill the promises that he makes.
Right. There's an amana and it keeps getting broken. And I do.
So I think that
I do
I'm
feel
sorry,
like I
finish. Go
have
ahead, please.
changed
I'm
the
sorry.
way I'm asking him so that I am asking him in a way that's, you know, like I'm trying to get that feedback from him and give him the opportunity to disagree or to, you know, and so it's just hard because I feel like I have keep changing and changing and changing the way I'm communicating to try to make him feel comfortable. And then I am communicating with him the best I can, and then I'm still not getting results.
Yeah, so I think that now you have to preserve yourself. I think that you have to say, okay, you're not gonna, you know, you've done your best, you're doing your best. You have 3 kids and 1 on the way. You have to maybe pull back a little and know that, okay, I'm doing my best, and but you really want to know that you want to make him come to you. You want to not be chasing him, you know, do the things that you do. I'm not saying to stop making dinner or to stop giving him tea or stop pleasing him. Obviously, you know, he's being very spoiled by you, and you're a lovely wife, and he knows you know, your weaknesses, that you love him, so you're doing everything for him. And I think that there's a little bit of give and take here. It's his turn to show that same feeling for you, so that you don't feel like you're overwhelmed and burnt out and tired and, you know, like you're going in circles, right? So I think that if you can, 2 things you can do. One is to be the times that you really want to speak with him. What is it that you need from him that you want? Is it chores that you want him to do? Or is it something with the children? Or is it the screen time that bothers you the most? Can you make a list of the things that really that you really are concerned about?
Yeah, I made a list. Actually, we both made lists and
Good.
told each other our lists of the things that were most important to us. And for me, I guess it's the way he communicates, not only with me, but with our children. And then I have certain things that are kind of deal breakers for me, like the screen time and the respect. So like, just, you know, if you're in a room and the children are throwing the books out of the bookcase on the floor because he works from home in the office, in the library/office, like tell the children to pick up the books. Don't let them walk on the books, because I don't go in the office when he's working, right? But he allows them in there. And it bothers me when I come in and the books are broken. It really bothers me. Or like when he gives them the iPad and I don't know. Or, you know, or like the way he will communicate like to the eldest child, if he's upset with the child, you know, he's very like, you know how the Arab men, they can be like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna like, but you know what I'm saying? Like very direct and like kind of scolding the child. And I don't like that. I think that even if the child did something wrong, like they should still be respected, and that, you know, we have to try to not give them the negative intention and give them positive reinforcement. And, you know, like I'm trying to like change the way that maybe we parent a little bit, because I want the kids to have that respect, because I think the way he talks to him is the way my elder son is going to talk to his younger brother. And
Precisely.
And we have to
You're
change
absolutely
communication.
You're absolutely accurate. I mean, you have to look at 2 things here. That he may be behaving how he learned his parents behaved. That's maybe the way the pattern that his parents had. So he's duplicating the pattern with you that he saw his mother and father do. You know what I mean? And so therefore, you know, the son, like you said, he's going to learn what his father does. So that's really important. So he's not really learned skills. He's just taking them from the parents, as we all do. Obviously, obviously you have some other education, which is very valuable. I mean, we don't want to humiliate our children. We do want to talk to them. We do want to befriend them and tell them, you know, this, and teach them what they did wrong. You know, for example, when a child is with you in public and they start to behave good, and after you buy them a candy or a Coke and you say, I'm rewarding you. Do you know why I'm rewarding you? I'm rewarding you because you were so patient, you know, and you were so not so behaved so good when mommy was, you know, talking, you know, to her friends, or mommy was busy and you were so patient. So I'm rewarding you. So a part of teaching the children how to behave and is rewarding them. But if you don't talk to them and you scream at them, they're not learning anything. It's not good skills. What I would look at is one, I would tell him that you spoke to a Muslim, you know, therapist, and you know, tell him that, you know, communication is the key to any successful relationship. And we have, you know, 4 children coming into this world, and we're responsible for their lives and the kind of lives that they will have in the future with their wives. And if we're not good role models that they are going to learn from, then how are we helping them in the future? We have to set the example. And I do think that you need to make a date time once a week. And I do think you need to spend time with them and say, you know, I feel it's very valuable that we're aligned as parents, that I support you and you support me. If I say that I only want 5 hours of screen time, you know, a week, then I need you to support that, or whatever it is that you agree upon. And I will back up you when you need something as well. But we have to look like we're a unified front in front of them so that they can respect both of us. Otherwise, we're lacking as parents. Number 2, the fact is that that's his office. No, you need to make a big sign on the outside of his office and say, keep out, daddy's working. That has to go there, you tack it there, and that's it, and no one goes in there. That's just as a rule. And you go to Walmart and you get one of these whiteboards, little thing, and you tack it up in the kitchen, and you start making rules. The rules that you have: 5 hours of airtime. No one, you know, they have to, for example, you know, keep their rooms clean, or no food. For example, for me as a child, my parents never allowed us to eat in our bedroom because my parents didn't want bugs in the bedroom.
We eat at the table. We have the same rule. Yeah.
We eat where we eat, and we never bring food to the ever. I can't even do it now because it's so awkward for me. So these trainings are so critical because your children are so young, and what this sticks with them now, they learn like you're engraving in stone. When you get older, it's like engraving in the sand. But when they're young, they can really grasp this knowledge. And so there's things that are just, you know, lessons, that building blocks, and lessons that are so critical at this time that are going to stay with them for the rest of their life. And you tell him, I'm looking for a partner. We need to be partners. We are both responsible for these kids. It takes two people to make children, and two children to raise them. I mean, two parents to make children, and 2 parents to raise them. You know what I mean? And it seems like you are taking a lot of responsibility on yourself, and you're not getting the support. You know, his communication style is obviously laid back and, you know, sort of let you do everything, but that's not fair to you too, because you need support. You really do. And that's why you're probably screaming from him from another room, because he's not giving you the support you need. So what happens is we escalate. When we don't get what we want, we become different than who we are. I'm sure you don't want to scream from another room, hey, Mohammed, do this. You would like him to say, hey, Mohammed, I'm cooking now. Can you watch the children for a few minutes, or do this and this? But because he's lacking in giving you that agreement or knowledge that he can take care of things while you're doing something else, then you can feel relieved. Because that's not happening, you're sort of screaming from here and there and there, and then you're escalating because he's not providing what you need.
And I think too, you're right about having that conversation like that. I'm so glad that we're a united front, that we have that solidarity. Like, I mean, I do give my kids that positive reinforcement. And I have told Mohammed we need to be a partnership, but I only tell him like in regards to like, say, money, but never with like, I guess the kids, I didn't think about like presenting it that way, which seems kind of crazy now that you mention it, because it's so common sense. Like, I should have thought of that. but I didn't.
I mean, also,
So
I
think
have,
great
I have,
advice.
yeah, something else I think is important. We need to have meetings with our husbands quarterly. So every 3 months, I have a meeting with my husband and we discuss our money situation, which we will speak about the next time Ruba has a program. But every 3 months, I have a meeting. I sit with him and we go over the budget. We go over what's going on and we decide what happened, the last 3 months and where we want to go and how our budget is now and what is allotted for this and this and this. And and sort of speak together as partners and know what what our goals are. The category for the home, the category for the children, the category for doing fun stuff outside, whether it's a movie or going to do something, entertainment. And then you have, that's personal money that should be given to you so that you can feel a sense of self
Right, autonomy to be able to have your spending money and that he feels like he's providing for you. Right.
And that's your right as a female. That's your right as a wife. That's your right to have a separate bit of just money for you, whether it's within his budget, whether it's $100 a month or $200 a month. It can be budget money, or some people have a credit card that their husband gives them and they have an agreement that they can spend $200 whichever ways they choose. But if they go over that month, and that means the next month they have to be careful, to make sure that they keep within that limit, because this month they went over. And maybe they have a legitimate reason and they're honest and say, well, this one was a wedding, so I had to buy a wedding dress, and so etc. But the thing is, these meetings, these communications, put in place, again, they're like little rules. Every 3 months, let's sit down, let's look at where we're going and where we've come and what we're doing. But I think the rules for the children is extremely important, because definitely, again, it takes two people to make a baby and two people to raise a baby. And if you're doing it all yourself and you have 4 children and that pressure's on you, it's going to make you stressed out and burnt out. And you may find yourself behaving in ways that are not attractive, because you find that you're doing everything on your own and you're not having the support that you need.
Yeah, and I know that to a certain extent, it is a cultural difference. Like he doesn't, I've had Arab, even Algerian women living in families, living in my house. And I'm not completely naive. And I know that many men don't do anything. Like they don't even have to lift a finger when they're not working. And so for me to ask him to help, that is in itself a concession to him. I know that. And I respect that. But at the same time, sometimes I just need help. So I feel like I can really relate to what you're saying. And I definitely, as far as money goes, you're right. We do have that. We do have our budget. We do have our conferences, and he's been improving a lot lately, because we did start meeting with him, and when I started showing him like the budgets and things that I was making, he said, actually, you should be doing less and he should be doing more. And I want you to stop contributing your money to the household. Yes. And I want him to pay the bills first. And then if he needs that money, then you guys can come to an agreement. Okay, well, I'll borrow that money from you and then I'll pay it back on my next paycheck. Or, oh, can I have this money to pay this? And that way he recognizes the contributions that I'm making, and then we can be more aware of them, and I can reduce as, he becomes more and more sufficient. So we definitely have our agreements, and we're good on that. It's just a communication, and I don't care. I mean, for me, money is not a huge, I know maybe for some other people it is, but for me, it's not a big issue, because as long as we have like food on the table and we can pay for my son's school, and, alhamdulillah, a house over our head, I'm happy. He's not out of control in any kind of way with that. It's just a communication. Sometimes I feel like the cultural differences make it hard, and I really appreciate the advice. Jessica Heron.
No, I care very much about your situation, because you're having a new baby coming into this world, and you need a lot of support right now around you, and definitely you need that support from your husband as well. And the fact is this, though, if he's going to take money, you have to sign a little contract and say he took this money, and sign it, because it is your money. It is something that's yours. It's something that belongs to you, and it's okay to lend him that money. It's okay to give him that money. It's okay to help, but he needs to sign a piece of paper that he's taken $200 or $300, just because otherwise it feels like there is a justice here that Allah wants for you, and that is
And I made that mistake. I loaned him money and we had a verbal agreement. Yeah. And then the imam was like, did you have him sign a piece of paper? And I was like, no. And then he was like, next time have him write it down. You're giving the same advice, mashallah.
Okay, so I'm glad I'm speaking the same language of the imam.
Mashallah.
It's your right. It's all about your right. You don't have proof unless it's written, right? I mean, okay, we know that the angels wrote it, right? But we're not going to see those books until we get to the next life, right? So you want to have a document just showing, because it's proof, and proof makes you have security that I did something, and then you can bring that and show whether to someone in the future. It's not that you want to use something against someone you love. That's not the point. We just want to follow Islam. Islam is that the man takes care of the woman and he doesn't take her money. That's Islam. He has to feel like a man. Okay, then take control and take care of her. So this is important for you, and you have another baby coming, and so he has to make you feel that you are completely 100 million% taken care of in every single way, and giving you a little extra to you to spend on yourself to get whatever you want to do, personal things that you might need. You know what I mean? For a woman, or getting your hair done, or getting a manicure, or whatever you want. I mean, whatever it is that you like to do for yourself, and that's fair. And so I think that one thing, again, as I said, go to Walmart, you're going to get one, a plan. And I think you should make an appointment with your husband. You don't need the imam. You can sit with him and say that I'd like you to look at, we're looking at the next 2 years. We're going to have a baby, and this is how we're going to have 4 children now. It's going to be a lot of responsibility. I can't do this alone. It took 2 of us to make this baby, so it's going to take 2 of us to raise our new baby, and I need your help and support, and you're their father, and we're their role models. And we may not be able to be the role models that your parents were. I think we should be better. And, and I need a partner, because this is what our children need. So if you support me, their children are going to respect me. And if I support you, then the children are going to respect you. But we need to work as a team. We're the adults here. They're the children.
Inshallah.
May Allah bless you and keep you safe. And I'm here for you.
And you too, Anta. Thank you so much.
Mabruk with the new baby. When's the baby? Yeah. When's the baby due?
I think I'm around 3 months. I need to go to the doctor.
You didn't go to the doctor?
Well, no, my husband works for Southwest, and we're switching from like United to Aetna, and it's switching in January. And my husband hasn't given me the information for the insurance yet, so I can't book an appointment. And I didn't want to start with one provider and then change. And I know, but by the time you get to your 4th, you're like, the baby's fine.
Listen, it's all from Allah. It's all
exactly.
Listen, you're
anything happens.
You're a pro at this now. You've done it 3 times, so you know what you're doing.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, let me tell you, some of the children in the Middle East, they were using they're born in the home usually. Sometimes they're born in the home, right? The children in the Middle East. So anyway, just go with the flow. But I do think just see if you can make an appointment once a week with him.
Yeah, inshallah. My mom actually had 7. One of them died. SubhanAllah, like she has all these wonderful, crazy stories about how she delivered each one of us. So it's like, when I heard. Anyway.
So I want to invite your mom to the program.
Inshallah. Inshallah.